I'm here to talk to you about the economic power of great places. People don't usually think about economics and places, but this is, when I say this is my obsession, this is a slight understatement, and I need to confess something to you before I really tell you about the details of the economic power of great places. Because you see, I love great places. I don't just love great places. I see the personality of places. Each neighborhood or each community that I go visit for work or vacation or just in wandering around, I see that each neighborhood has its own unique personality. I walk around friends' neighborhoods and take pictures like this on my phone because it's a cool door and it shows me what that neighborhood is like. I know, it's a little crazy, but that's what I do. And if I'm in another city for work, I will stop in the middle of a street, yes, in the middle of the street with a car backing up right next to me, and I will take a picture of this great scene because to me, this is a great place. It's got people, it's got stores, it has a community coming together in this place. Or even when I'm on vacation with my family, I make the whole group stop so I can take a picture, which may not be interesting to anybody else, but here I see 2 floors of stores that are succeeding, that are a vibrant part of this community. And that, to me, makes it a great place. So you have to understand that I love great places. I love great places so much that this is what I do professionally. I work for an organization called Smart Growth America, and we work on federal policy, and we work with local communities to help them figure out how their place can be great or even greater. But the key in all of this right now, why this is so essential today, is because making great places is key to turning around our economy. And I'm about to tell you why, but really think about making great places is key to turning around our economy. It affects our economy and our own wallets in so many different ways that this is one of the major things we need to focus on to be able to bring our economy back around. First, let's make sure we're all on the same page in terms of what we're talking about. What makes a place great? Because we all have different ideas, and that's really important, that we each come with different ideas about what makes a place great. Some of the characteristics that are important are that we have shops and homes or jobs and schools near to each other so that people can choose to walk or they can take a short drive to get there. They can choose to be a part of their local culture, their local community. They can shop in their own local stores because they have an economic basis for this. There is a there, right? And we know that from a Gallup poll, people are actually choosing this. The reason that people stay in smaller and mid-sized towns across our entire country is because, not because they have a job, not because there's economic opportunity, but because there are places to gather in their community. This is why people stay where they live. They're also looking for a community that's inclusive, where they can feel a part of that community. And people are looking for something that's beautiful, either the buildings, the environment near it. People want to be in a place of beauty. And looking at how these pieces work together is very important because we want to be able to look at how we create great places where people can be a part of their local economy. They can shop in their local stores. They can stop and get ice cream, sit in the park, and be a part of that community. This is also called smart growth in my field. But really, it's talking about great places and how we can each be a part of them. And so here's where it starts hitting the economy. Great places are in high demand. And you guys are actually a big part of this. People and businesses are moving there in droves. Young professionals, people in college, recently out of college. Every study shows us that this cohort of people, many of you, are moving to different sized towns and cities because you want to be able to walk to shops and gather with your friends in places nearby. We also know that families and different households are choosing to be in great places. They will pick a smaller home on a smaller lot because they want a shorter commute and they want to be able to walk to shops and different kinds of stores. People are making these decisions with their own pocketbook. We also know that businesses are moving to great places because that's where their talent workers are living. Businesses are moving back downtown all over the country, even in Las Vegas, because they recognize that their talented workers, their talented employees, the people that they are trying to bring into their businesses want to live in neighborhoods where they can be a part of their community. Businesses and people are moving to great places. We also know that great places cost less. They cost us less. They cost our governments less, us, the taxpayers. We know that when we look at how much it costs to build the roads and the water lines to build new homes, either in town, within a suburb, or out at the edge, the costs more than triple as we go farther out from the center of our community. When our governments today and us as taxpayers, we're trying to figure out how to save money, this is almost a no-brainer decision of how we can save money when we're moving forward. And Sacramento did a study of their entire region, Sacramento, California, and looked at over the next few decades, they could save $16 billion just within their region by building more of their new homes within their existing towns and within their existing communities. That's just one region. Think about how much that could save if we did that on a national basis. We also know that great places bring in more money. Arlington, Virginia, a great local destination to us. Arlington, Virginia, many decades ago, decided that they wanted to add in more apartments and more office buildings down its central corridor within Arlington County. They also put the metro underground along this corridor. This corridor, 40 years later, today, takes up only a little bit more than 7% of the whole land area of the county. This corridor also brings in more than a third of all the property tax revenues for the whole county. This county has the lowest property tax rates of all of Virginia. And that's because they decided that they wanted to build great places in this corridor and around it. And they wanted to make sure that they would have a strong economy within those great places. And people are flocking to it. Businesses, people are flocking to this corridor to be a part of it. We also know that stores do better in great places. Barnes & Noble has a great study that shows us that when they have a bookstore in a place where you can walk around near other stores and you can just sort of stroll by, that bookstore brings in 20% more revenue per square foot than the same store in a strip mall in the same region. 20% more square foot in a great place versus out in a strip mall. That makes a huge difference today when many of our businesses are struggling. But here's the problem. We haven't been doing this for the most part. For the last 50 years, we've been building disposable places. We've been building forgotten places, we've hollowed out our places, and we've wasted billions of dollars doing this. And us, as individuals and as families, we've also wasted a lot of money because we haven't had the choice to live in great places. People are building things like this, where the business is in it for 7 years, and then they leave it, and they go down the road and build a different building and leave this empty. And it's a hollowed out place in that community. We also build a lot of places like this all over the country, where you drive in, you do your piece of business, and you drive back out. There is absolutely no reason that you would just wander by some other store to drop in and see if they had something great you might want to pick up. You can't get that added revenue for these businesses because nobody wants to hang out there. We're also building neighborhoods like this. There's no there, right? There's no gathering place. There's no way to really be a part of a community here. In fact, we have so much of this right now out at the edge that there's enough, they say, to last us the next 30 years of demand of this kind of housing. This is where you see a lot of foreclosures going on across the country. And this is what I'm here to tell you today. We can do better. You can do better. I can do better. We can do better with this because we know that our businesses thrive in great places. We know that we want to live in great places. And so what it means is that we each need to take a role in how we can create great places where we can gather with our friends, we can be a part of a community, and actually invest in our own economy and save money at the same time. I want to tell you about one person who's doing this. Her name's Jeanette. Jeanette loves Detroit. If you think I'm crazy about this, Jeanette is phenomenal. Jeanette is a young woman who lives in Detroit, and she was thinking about going to graduate school. She could leave for 2 years, she could come back, she could do some more work in Detroit. She's been doing some community work in Detroit. Jeanette decided that she didn't want to leave Detroit for 2 years because she was so excited about what was happening in Detroit, she didn't want to miss out on it. She saw how much was changing so quickly in Detroit. And so Jeanette created a nonprofit called Inside Detroit, where she can show you every business that's moving downtown, every amazing building that has been renovated, every cool bar and restaurant that has come back into the downtown. And that's how she is helping Detroit become a great place again. The thing is, we each have a role in making great places. Sometimes it's something like a hard political decision where our elected leaders need us to back them up to say, no, really, don't keep building on the edge. Build back in our community. Build back into our own economy, and that's important. Sometimes it could be hosting a neighborhood festival or a barbecue or volunteering for a day of service. But really, it's about thinking about what's your role, what's our role in creating a great place. Thank you.